course you want to be a champion. Of course you want to be working towards winning titles.
Be happy, but never satisfied.
Better than ever.
Welcome back, Ultimate fans. Thanks for joining us for the senior phase of the 2023 Canadian Ultimate Championships here in Surrey, British Columbia. We're here at the Newton Athletic Sports Complex here on the traditional territories of the Semiahmoo, Katzie, Kwantlen, Quaquitlam, Kaikite, and Tsawwassen First Nations. We've got a match for you, the first to be streamed from the open division. We have Quake from Quebec versus Pipe from Ontario. My name is Clayton Howlett. I'm joined here by Sahab Ansari. Sahab, you've been out doing some journalism and talking to these teams. What are you excited for in this game?
Yeah, personally, I got an opportunity to watch both of these two teams play, and yeah, it's just super stoked. Pipe is a brand new team. This is their first year in fruition, and that they are excited to kind of show a new style of Toronto Ultimate. So that they're just bringing out the great energy here, and really, really excited to be here in British Columbia. I spoke to them right after their game against Furious George this morning. They put in a lot of great energy, great effort there.
Hard to go against Furious in your first game.
Definitely.
But also, might be nice to kind of get it out of the way.
Yeah, I totally agree. And personally, I am from Vancouver, and I would not like to go up against it Furious in my first game. The defense is quite aggressive, but Pipe was able to find great answers with their offense. And Quake, on the other hand, had a little bit of an easier game, but still quite difficult. But Quake able to figure it out around the halfway mark, finishing the game with a great score of 6-15 against Streetcar from Manitoba.
So the horn goes, signaling game start. We've got Quake in white pulling from the left side of your screen towards Pipe in dark on the right. Observers for this game, Dominic Saint-Jacques and Jeff Blair. That pole is going to sit and quickly moved up the field by Pipe. They look like they're setting in a horizontal offense with a slash cut immediately to Petsinas. And he flips that up to a player and then ends up finding Lamb. Lamb looking for options, and interestingly watching Pipe fall in to a vertical offense after running a horizontal play. Pick called against Owen Robinson, so he'll come back to his check.
And it looks like number 34 on Pipe, David Petsinas, took off the field on that, made a quick injury sub.
Oh, okay. So maybe just need an extra stretch that he didn't get in before the game. Hope he's okay. This disc coming in on 3. Rouse, his pass airing out. Many people in the area, several hands on the disc. It looks like it's McKee coming down with it. No contention in that. McKee looking for options. Finds McKee. And Lamb will air that out for Sheh. Pipe with the hold to start our game off. 1-0.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, starting off the game with a crazy pass. Looked like there was 6 guys under that disc. Pipe able to manage to grab a hand on it, and surprisingly no contest. So it seemed quite clean.
You know why? I think when we say a couple of hands on it, I think that was all Pipe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think several players got underneath that from the same team. So good on them.
Yeah.
So we've seen the conditions here in Surrey be weird. Nothing like the rest of Canada. We're sort of spoiled out here. We've got a nice heat. We have beautiful blue skies.
Definitely.
But the wind on this field has been unpredictable.
Oh, definitely. And I have myself played on this field many times, and I feel like just when you least expect it, a giant gust of wind comes out of nowhere and absolutely ruins your day. So let's see how these two teams manage to figure out how to play against with this strange wind.
Yeah, almost ruins Pipe Day on that first point, but they came down with it. Quake, I'm seeing some familiar players there who've been playing in the Quebec ultimate scene for quite a long time. Still kicking it in the open division. That pole lands out of bounds. Number 17, Antoine Genet will go pick up.
I love seeing the energy on the field from Pipe and Quake as well. Really loud on the sideline.
Genet, as they run a tree, Quake runs a tree play, but nothing's there. Breton flips it back to a reset, who immediately hits Courdeau. An extending Sauvé saves that. Resets to Gamache. Has the IO flick to the back of the stack. 2 Quake players there to get it. That pass aired out to Sauvé, but it's not quite in, and then there's a foul. A far pass from Bordelot, but Sauvé saves it, pardon the pun.
Yeah, and Keeler looks like he's down now with an injury after that attempted layout D.
So Keeler's going to get the attention he needs, thankfully. Trainer and coach comes out to see him. It looks like number 13, White from Pipe, might be subbing for him. Pretty bang offense from these two teams so far, Sahab. I mean, we're not seeing any struggle so far. Often teams need a little while to figure each other out unless they've been watching tape or something like that.
Definitely, yeah.
So Keeler will go off. White comes on. Observer Saint-Jacques checking with Quake if they'd like to take a sub, but they are fine. So Sauvé will have the disc on the end zone line. He was fouled by Keeler before Keeler called that injury. So the stall is coming in on 0. And Sounds like we're good to go. Coming in on 0. Solvay looking for a reset. Finds Gamache. But that throw is too low. Gamache can't quite get there. Pipe player taking off. 2 players dropping on the deep. Leaves Segal open. He finds Morrow. Morrow to Chan. Segal. He'll go around and with lots of time. The reset. Quake has been favoring that break side. They do again. Morrow. A missed throw. Looks like he put up his hand to signal something, which was a little confusing. And Jeff Blair, the observer, thought, I think it was a foul call, and he stopped the play.
Yeah, it seems like there's a little bit of frustration from the Quake player from the call there. Not quite sure what happened here. And now Quake is going to start with a disc once again here. Looking for a big throw downfield, and that's blocked by Segal.
So Pipe getting that back. Chance for a break here. Looks that to Chan. Chan looks for a reset, looking for Segal. Offhand throw to a quick one. Morrow, little tic-tac-toe with Chan. Chan airs that out for Stonehouse. And good pressure D by 33, Victor Kurudo. Although Stonehouse goes down, looks okay. Looks okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to play on. You like to see it. Just needed a second to collect himself. Janae picks up. Janae looking for options. Finds the IO break, but it's kind of spicy for Dubé. Chan picks up. Chan with a quick flip to Morrow. Morrow's able to try and go for a sneaky throw, but then perhaps Stonehouse a little bit more shaken up from earlier. He's having problems accelerating off his feet. Sahab, I can't tell if he's hurt or if he's just disappointed.
It's quite difficult. I mean, this is Oscar Stonehouse we're talking about, U24 player. He's probably been playing for a very long time now, and he hasn't gotten the chance to rest up after his U24 series here. And that just goes sailing out. Now Pipe gets another opportunity in the red zone.
Looks like number 11, Justin Luo, will pick up. Looking for Chan. Chan finds Low. Stonehouse, seemingly fine. Showing some big acceleration there for the give-go. Looking for options. Has Segal. Stonehouse just takes off. He's alone. And a big bid by Stonehouse. If you were watching the footage of the U24s this year, Sahab, you saw that particular layout a lot.
Quite a few times. And yeah, Oscar Stonehouse, definitely a defensive demon. We'll see if he can get any blocks this time around.
Janae's going to pick up.
And that's number 11, Justin Lowe, on the mark here. Really excited.
Janae's going to air it out. That disc has the right edge. It is going to stay in bounds. Some jostling, some bumping. But Champagne doesn't come down with it. Seemed pretty... I would say I like that's a no call. Let me put it that way, right? Sahab, there was some jostling between the two players, but there wasn't any real unfair play there.
Yeah,
and Chan calls a timeout.
Yeah, personally, I love those battles in the air. And at the end of the day, we do play a non-contact sport, so it's hard not to say foul or no foul, but I love the mutual respect between players. When you're both kind of pushing at each other, you know, accepting that you're both playing kind of that aggressive game, and hopefully we can stay nice and clean this game.
Yeah.
And Pipe with the timeout call in their red zone, trying to see what they can figure out here. I'd like to see something work out for this Pipe D line here on the offense. They had a couple opportunities in the red zone, but not able to punch it in. What do you think?
Well, they were close. I think we saw just Stonehouse perhaps thinking the throw was going to go somewhere else, and we saw him kind of grab onto his, I wouldn't say grab on, but favor his heels, his lower legs there for a little while on 2 cuts, and maybe just wasn't prepped.
Yeah.
And but seems to have shaken himself out of it. I mean, Pipe here too is grinding. Park making that big defensive play. You know, and at the end of the day, this is what you want your defensive line to do. Force the other team to play offensive points that are frustrating as heck, right? Like you want to make them work real hard. If you get the point, breaks win games, but you've already done half your job here in getting Quake's O-line tired.
Definitely. Yeah. And like you said, Pipe is doing a great job of getting Quake nice and tired on that O-line. Let's see if they're able to translate this into an off or defensive break.
Chan resets to Seagal. Seagal finds Low.
A little bit of a bobble there.
Yeah, saves it. That throw aired up, but Seagal elevates to get it. Tic-tac-toe with Chan, seeing this a lot. Showing himself as a pivot player right now. Stonehouse adjusting to make that box out immediately and finds Park in the middle. Pipe seemingly getting back in position. Seagal now has Chan underneath, but Quake is poaching to stop that, so he elects to go back to Park. And Park finds Chan in the middle. Chan, the IO flick after Park calls for it. Oh, and some great positional defense by Victor Sauvé once again to the rescue. I'm sorry, I'll stop with the puns, but I can't help it. Sauvé saving this point defensively and earlier offensively for Quake, but he is going to take an injury sub.
And Seagal now going off as well. Pipe.
Now, Breton comes on for Quake. And
we have number 25, John Huang, coming on.
So Genet here seems to be, Antoine Genet seems to be the go-to player on the line here for the pickup in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Tough spot to be in, so probably has a lot of experience.
Nice little break around there.
Dubé airs that out to a wide open receiver. Bordelot calls a timeout on the end zone line. Now, Sahab, I learned that there's many people, one particular Team Canada head coach that hates this timeout. And that's because what it does is now you're it called your end zone, you're about to score. You might have been able to do a nice little give go with not a lot of people in the area, but now that the defense is going to be able to set up in the end zone. That being said, it has been a long point. But Danny Proby, I know you're playing with traffic right now, but I am going to put this out there that you taught me that you hate this, and you're the Team Canada coach, so I'm going to go with you on this one.
Yeah, and Danny Proby might actually be sitting right across from us. I see a couple of traffic players in the stands. So maybe she's watching on her phone or maybe not. So if you're hearing this, Danny, give us a little wave. But me personally as well, I strongly dislike this timeout call. It gives a lot of opportunity for the defense to set something up a little bit different, right? Me, when I'm a coach and the opposing team calls this timeout, I'm foaming at the mouth, so excited to set up this different style of defensive poach that sometimes the offense just isn't ready for.
So you're a defensive guy.
Oh, I love the defense, right? D-line wins games.
That they do. And Pipe's D-line here has been doing a lot of heavy work to make that happen. So Bordelot's going to start with the disc, and you see Quake setting up in a vertical offense here. But look at Pipe poaching off, trying to take away the options, and they do. So now Quake is going to have to reset, and it's under pressure, but an outstretching Breton is able to save it. He'll go around to Genet. Oh, Genet looking for that low backhand. He's thrown quite a few times. Instead, he'll go IO flick, but it's too low. And I suppose the rule of calling that timeout that we tend not to like shows its head. So Huang will pick up. He finds Chan. Pipe trying to find a way to get this out of their end zone. Low and Chan working together. Still stuck back there. Some quick work by the middle, but popping that disc up into the wind, goes straight up in the air. Quake is able to come down with it. There is a stoppage. It looks like at the back of the stack that Luo and Genet are talking about something that happened. Aha, it was a foul on the throw. Genet is arguing that no, he did not contact Luo as he stepped around. Luo saying Genet impeded his backhand throw, which popped it up in the air. And the wind is coming this way, right?
Yeah.
From the grandstands towards our faces, towards the camera.
If you see the flags that are directly in front of us, you can see that this wind is quite strong right now.
So I believe observer ruling no foul. So Quake will keep the disc.
And now on to the opposite side of the field to a wide open receiver.
That was 73. Olivier Bastien, who was wide open on that throw from Bordelot. And, I mean, he used two hands. He just pancaked it.
I don't know about you, Clayton, but I've done that thousands of times now in my ultimate career.
Never. Huang airs that out for Park. And 33 from Quake. Curdo comes down with it to give Quake's O-line another chance here.
That's a little high release flick there.
Bordelot looking for options. Puts that out in front of Breton. He'll get that around to Genet. Genet's fakes are really selling the defense right now. And his throws are very crisp, but we do have a pick call down field. Vertical stacks as they have to shift as they move down the field. But Sahab, if everyone's not shifting at the same time following the play down the field, we get a little bit of crowded, and then we get these, or crowding, excuse me, and then we get these pick calls.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, picks are not allowed in Ultimate Frisbee, and a pick can happen at any moment. It could be your own teammate blocking you from playing defense, or it could be an opposite teammate, and it does not have to be intentional. If at any point you as the defender have to run through somebody to continue to play defense, you are allowed to make that pick call within reason. And now
this will come back to Genet. Sounds like
just clarifying the stall count now.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, Genet's fakes have been impressive this game. We've only seen a few, but absolutely impressive.
Yeah, I'm buying them every time.
Around. Me as well.
Yeah. Low getting some coaching from the sideline here about how to set up a mark to stop. So Chez offering his input, trying to get in Genet's way in those big fakes. Breton, backhand break, finds Gamache. He'll send that out. It is too low. Now, Sahab, I'd like your take on this. I thought that bounced.
I thought it bounced as well, but we have the observer coming in to give us a ruling here on what they saw, and from that kind of angle, nobody else on the field really has any sort of perspective, right? They're all backs turned or kind of at an off angle here.
And I'm listening to the players on the field right now, and as you would expect, all the players in the white jerseys are calling it up, and all the dark players, or all the players in dark, that is, are calling it down. So I think we'll have to go the observer with this one. Saint-Jacques rules that up, so Curado will keep it. Takes his time, Probably a good call as they've struggled to just get this through. Gamache goes around to Genet. You want it in that thrower's hands. And once again, off the hands of Landry. Excuse me, off the hands of Bastien.
Bastien.
Morrow has Chan. Chan calling for it loudly. Finds Low. Low looking for options. Has Chan just streaking up the line, and he'll air that out for Keeler, and that is the first break of the game. A long point pipe takes it 2-0. You see the pipe come out onto the field, Saab.
Yeah.
This Ontario team pumped up.
And I spoke to Pipe at the beginning of the game, and they told me that this is their mascot here. They brought this all the way from Toronto, Ontario.
They shipped it.
Yeah. And they decided to bring this pipe to signify every single time they were able to get a break. They bring out this mascot and give the pipe to their teammates.
It's only like $20 from Home Depot.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have bought one.
They probably could have purchased it here, but sometimes you got to.
No, let's go with the story that they shipped it.
Your main mascots is always coming with you.
So, really gritty defense and really sticking with it is that pipe D line. That is a huge defensive point. I mean, to make a point last that long against the offensive line and get the victory, double win, right?
Yeah,
both your jobs accomplished.
They did everything they needed to do on that point, and Pipe able to come down with it. And now we see a couple of familiar faces back on the line here for Pipe on their D-line again. So, and same with Quake, seeing a couple of familiar faces as well on this O-line. And the wind really starting to pick up there.
Breton fields it. Vertical offense from Quake. Sauvé. Breton, he'll shoot that around to Genet. Genet puts that up with the IO edge. The wind not catching it, but it will hang and elevating early. Sauvé proving to be Quake's most valuable player currently as he goes up over Stonehouse. Quake really needed that fast 0-point score to get some momentum back.
And this is what I want to see from Quake. While I was watching their first game against Streetcar, Quake was able to get these quick first throw, second throw transitions right into the end zone. And then keeping up with this momentum, right? This is what Quake needs. They need these quick points, right? We don't want to see any more of these long-standing points where Pipe's really able to build their D-line, right? Once Pipe's D-line gets going, it seems like it's quite difficult for Quake to translate that offense into a score. But as we can see, Quake able to elevate in the end zone, finding that grab, finding that amazing throw, right? And I'd love to see more of that.
Didn't get much of time to watch Quake's D-line here, so we'll see how the defensive staff are able to generate something. As Pipe earlier on the first point of the game kind of scored quite quickly. And an offside called. Offside is always on the defense. We'll get to that in a minute. To accept it, though, you're not supposed to catch it. You're supposed to let it fall. So I guess that'll just come to the brick mark. But they changed the rule, or the terminology, that is. If you move before you shoot on the pole, if you're on offense, false start. If you move on the defense and cross the line before the pole goes up, offside. So offsides now, always on the defense. Oh, and that clicks off the hands of Rouse. So now this D-line, like we were talking about for Quake, what can they get done? Landry, captain of the team, picks up the disc, finds Picard. Picard with the laser IO flick to Richard Maire. Moreau flips that around, and then the thrower just putting too much of an edge on it, and Bastien is not able to reel it in.
Yeah, quite a difficult throw for Bastien to reel in there. He extended out with his entire body, but unable to complete the catch. Not an easy one for sure. Oh, big hog downfield. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it was ever in.
Yeah, so observer Blair marking, just pointing basically to the cone as that was brought up from the end zone and thrown from the cone. So a little bit of a gift here for Quake. They do have to get down there. There isn't a lot amount of time where you have to tap it in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the stall count can begin.
And Quake definitely needs this defensive break right now.
Picard. Oh, with the air bounce to give Quake their break. And now we're all tied up. So Morneau with the goal, the score 2-2.
Yeah, and I love this cheer.
It's a Spartan cheer.
Yeah, definitely very exciting. And you can see just right across from us, we have Quib, also from Quebec, which is, I believe, their sister team. And also the current coach for Quake used to coach Quib as well. And he's won quite a few medals alongside of that team back in the day. So now I guess the women on the Quib team are coming out here to support their gents.
Love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a program supporting each other, right? I've been in cities where you have teams that play in different divisions and you don't really see much of each other. You don't really support each other much. And the season can feel sort of empty, right? But when the whole community in a town comes together to support your complementary teams that way, it's huge. And it's nice then when you go to a tournament like Nationals that you have a crowd.
Definitely.
You have an audience.
Yeah,
You're not just here, with your teammates, and all you've got is your shade 10 on the sideline, right?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. And during our juniors games, we had a lot of great energy, and I look forward to seeing a lot of energy as these adults start to fit into their games.
Olivier Gamash's pole is going to be fielded as it hangs, but Pipe able to move it up the field. Another horizontal play from Pipe, and then they're falling into their vertical again. That bounces off the hands of Griffin McKee. So Quake with a chance for break, which while this game is on serve, that is everybody just scored on their offensive points, it would be 2-2 this way. A break here would give the advantage to Quake as the game would move forward. Gagnon finds his brother. Gagnon, I believe his brother. And a pick called as Lichal Mayer came out of the stack there quite open. And we said before it's common that a pick call occurred, and Lamb called that.
And like you've been saying, Clayton, if somebody's that open, it's probably a pick.
Lichal Mayer looking for options. Has Gamache fight through to hold on to that disc.
And a big
against
around.
Stonehouse. Gagnon. Lichal Mayer. To Gagnon. Stalls coming in at, that's hard to see. I think 1 or 2 here.
I believe the stall's coming in at the stall 1 here.
Gagnon. Looking for options. He's going to opt for a reset to the back, coming from the front of the stack. To Sebal. He takes off. Landry was able to find Lichal Mayer, and he's going to keep it as of the pick. There was a pick call that happened in the vertical stack, so Lichal Mayer will keep that.
Yeah, and when you have a tight vertical stack like this, where all the Quake players are really close to each other, these kind of picks are going to be very common, right?
A little bit of discussion, just working out the count. It's coming in at 4. Hearing flat mark to stop that IO from the Pipe sideline. Instead, Quake is able to go around. Gagnon looking for options, showing some discipline after getting called to throw. Elects just to reset, playing some possession ultimate. Landry does the same, and a huge layout and a few little bumps sequence, but Keeler with that huge defensive play and then the second defensive effort to get the turn and a possible hold here for Pipe. Lamb finds McKee. Lamb has Robinson. He'll put that out to Keeler. Stonehouse kind of open on the open side just by himself. Has options, taking his time. Easy around to McKee. McKee not going for the up the line. That would have been a tight window to throw into. Robinson sees the reset to Stonehouse, throws a fake, and tries. Had an open cutter, I would say, but that throw executed a little too low to the ground. Park not able to dig that out of the ground. Park will call an injury. And it looks like number 14, Philippe Gagnon, will also go off. If a player calls an injury, the other team is allowed to mirror the substitution. So it looks like Philippe decided that he was going to take a rest. So on Pipe, number 10 comes on. Jackson McKee.
It's important to get those fresh legs coming onto the field, right? Especially when you're on this kind of offensive space, right? And we know that Quake is a team that wants to huck it, right? If we can get those fresh legs down the field, that could translate to a quick score for Quake.
And who else but to bring Sauvé on? Alchambault. Ooh, finds Sauvé, but Pipe almost coming down with the layout block.
The layout.
Now Alchambault looking for options. Another big layout block from Pipe. McKee did make contact with that disc. Landry arguing that he had it. Sahab, hard to tell from here, but since we have the microphones, let's just do our hot takes. I think that wasn't a foul.
I personally think that was not a foul either. It looked quite clean, no contact, but I think it might be a strip called here.
I don't think he had control. I don't think that
I.
was in his hands. The rotation was stopped, or at least he had a firm grip on it. I think he was coming down with it. The hand contacted it, causing him to sort of pancake it. The observer ruling.
Not a foul. But it seems like there's a little bit more of a conversation happening after that. But yeah, like you said, it seemed like the bobble, based off the way the disc bobbled, it seemed like it was all disc contact first.
And Sahab, with that, looks like we should keep giving our hot takes.
I love it.
One for one.
I love it. Yep.
So Matthew Lamb is going to pick up. He finds McKee. Got Stonehouse taking off deep, attempting target. Instead, they go to Robinson. Robinson working that to the middle of the field, and then Pipe works it around to the break side. Lamb finding Keeler. And now Pipe can work it back downhill towards the open side. McKee finds Robinson. He'll put that out to Stonehouse, easily fielded by him, all alone. Keeler's wide open, but I immediately heard a pick call. Keeler with the quick cut, but looks like the pick call was made very, very early. Keeler is asking for a clarification. So right now, Sauvé and Keeler are wondering who catches up. And in fact, Keeler goes back to where he was at the time of the infraction, and Sauvé can make up any ground on Keeler at that location from the pick. So Stonehouse with the disc now. Just a crisp IO flick, but the wind catches it as it comes off a little too flat. There was a violation called, though, when everyone started moving. Now, Sahab, this is a really interesting situation. Stonehouse and his receiver, Lamb, didn't acknowledge that call, though, because it was a violation. The question is, does it come back to Stonehouse?
I believe it does come back to Stonehouse. Oh, and it seems like I am wrong, so maybe I should stop giving my hot
You know what?
takes.
I don't think so. I think by the rule, you're right.
Yes.
But I think also that was good spirit shown by Pipe saying, okay, violation, but you know what? It didn't. Right? We didn't know about it until that disc was in the air. We played through it. We didn't acknowledge it till after the turnover happened. So the turnover stands. That pass Looks like it was blocked by a number 10, Jackson McKee's feet
Number
there.
4,
But
Jackson McKee. I assume siblings.
yeah, I assume siblings. Yeah. So Landry's still with the disc. Is that foul? No contest. Landry able to find Pichal Mayer to Sauvé.
That's Keeler elevating again.
Landry. Has Sebal. He's able to find Alchambeau. And that Huck grabbed just with the quick snatch by Gamache. And then the offhand lefty backhand to number 19, Nicolas Gagnon. And that's the Viking cheer. Sorry, fans. I might have said Spartan. But Quake obviously pumped up as they get another break and now put themselves at a great advantage. This is one of those situations where Sahab, where, you know, statistically, all Quake has to do is their job.
Yep.
O-line just has to score. Defense just has to make Pipes O-line tired.
And
but
that's easier said
obviously,
than done.
most teams at Nationals won't be satisfied with just the statistical approach to this.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, like I said, easier said than done, right? It's not an easy task to get every single one of those points on O. And if that was the case, if you never made a drop, then
this would be real boring.
Yeah, this would be very boring. But like you said, this Pipe team has been working hard, and that was an O point, and you can see players like Logan Keeler working hard to get those Ds, right? Elevating in the air with 3-4 different layout block attempts. And, you know, Quake able to get that kind of Huck once again, like we were talking about, just barely getting it. Quick hands and able to find the end zone with 2 players there. And now, big pull by Quick here. Number 11, Low, fielding the pull here. 25 to number 90, Christopher Chan. Christopher Chan looking for somebody on the field here. Back to Low. Finding Seagal. Seagal looking upfield now. Finding Low once again. And Low juicing it down the field. As for a request from Chan, and Chan in the air. Absolutely skying his opponent. And we have a lot of excitement.
Well, he was out of position, right?
Yeah,
you had Bastien there making up that ground and kind of muscling him out, and Chan just able to go up, twist, and make that huge grab.
Yeah, Bastien putting in lots of great effort, playing the defense perfectly, in my opinion. But Chan just able to pull something out of there and get that grab. I love that request. Chan knew he had the position. He requested that Huck, and as it came up, you know, he brought it down. So, love to see that.
So I did a little bit of journalism at that point.
Okay.
The Gagnons are not brothers,
Oh,
but there could be more. I'll try and find out. So that puts us at 3-3. For those of you that understand this term, Quake is up a break. So they did start the game on defense. So if it's tied and then they're starting on O, they are at an advantage. You'd think, for those of you that are aware, teams aim to trade points, go shot for shot. But if a team gets 2 in a row and they started the game on defense, they get the second chance to score at the beginning of the game. When you have a tie game and you started the game on defense and now you're receiving the pull, that's still a good thing. You're still technically winning, although the score is tied. So,
yeah. And like you said, these serves do matter at this level, especially when these points are really long.
that pull taking advantage of the wind to get right down to the harder side of the field. Genet against his vertical stack. A good switch by Pipe to break up this Huck play. But Dubé will come right back down looking for it, but it's not there instead. Courdeau looking for options. He finds Gamache. There is a pick call. It looks like it was Ojin Lee and his check. So they've sort of, oh, no, excuse me. There's more going on. So Segal and Gamache are going to work this out. I think Gamache arguing that Segal was not on the mark. And after Gamache stopped, Segal kind of made up that ground. Gamache flips that to Breton. Breton not liking his options, asking for someone to come back, and Gamache calling a foul against Segal. Segal immediately indicating that he disagrees with Gamache's call. He's getting told by his teammates to go to the observer. I would rather he makes sure he gets the context from Gamache first, or maybe he doesn't need to. But we'll see Saint-Jacques and Blair come in here to understand what happened.
Yeah, and Wilson Pan actually did call down on that disc, and it seems like that down call will be contested as well.
Yeah, you're right, which could kind of nullify this conversation happening right now. So fix your thing, says Wilson Pan. I like that. Just get it done. Yeah. Good call by him. And to make sure everything gets sorted out correctly. So Segal and Gamache trying to figure this out. I feel like from my perspective, Sahab, this is reminiscent of an earlier D where they wasn't quite in the hands of the player. Pipe was able to get mitts on it, which caused the bobble, but the rotation was never stopped. That player did not have control. So, yeah, I'm 2 for 2. So after they go to the observer, it turns out that Segal did not foul Gamache. And Pipe now, it's going to need this break to get back on serve. Huang finds Segal. Gamache hungry to get that back. And there's a pick call. We must be seeing some vertical offense today, Sahab, if there's this many pick calls.
All these picks, right? And that's part of what comes with this sort of vertical offense, right? Like I said before, they're super tight within each other. And now back to the play here.
Huang finds Low. It's been explosive pivot handler for Pipe. Huang tight up the line, is able to reset that count. Has Low back. Is Low going to look break side so that his team can work this uphill? No, he finds Lee. Lee looking for some options. He'll find Morrow up the line. That gets aired out to Segal. The double happiness for Arav Segal. Pipe gets the break, which puts this game back on serve.
Yeah, and that double happiness that you're mentioning, I remember like you and Troy were talking about. You want to go over that a little bit more, Clayton?
Oh yeah, sorry. It's an ultimate term, and I often use too many ultimate terms. But if you don't know, a double happiness is where you make both the defensive play of the point, and in the ensuing possession, you get a goal. And I'm going to say this now on the stream because not enough people do this, and you got to start doing it, Canada. If it's a double happiness, and you get to make a defensive play in the end zone, right, to stop the other team from scoring, and then you go all the way back the other way and score, that is the bookends, going end to end. And you got to do the bookends. You got to get the hands up on your head, do the bunny ears, and give credit to that. You know, Segal doing it at about the break, double happiness. Still a big play, though.
Yeah, I'm loving that sort of little ultimate jargon. And now the heat is starting to really get there. Though the wind is around, it's starting to feel quite hot. And I hope these players on the field are making sure to stay hydrated throughout this game. It is not easy to play in this kind of hot weather and this kind of wind as well.
Park, trendy sunglasses, big pole. That is actually going to sail kind of backwards and lands out. So Janae will go pick up. He'll have a chance to bring that to the brick. That is center the disc in the field and bring it up to the plane created by our 2 yellow cones on the sideline, which is approximately 15 or 20 yards up. I'm blanking on that. Someone rule check me, but
I
brick
believe
nonetheless.
15 yards.
15, all right. Janae taps it in. Ooh, looks to Huck. Instead, a calm throw. That is saved by number 4, Victor Sauvé. Once again, he's always in the right area. He'll air that out, but that's going to linger. Oh, but number 20, René Bordelot with a huge sky over Stonehouse. Quake scoring on the harder side of the field with this win for the hold. Our score 4-4.
Yeah, and like you said, that point really started off with Victor Sauvé really being the savior again, right? He's saving the day and then also able to, on the other end, hit that throw and find the end zone, right? So that's kind of the play we need, right? We need that sort of movement from Quake. And against that sort of wind, not an easy thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Nice heads up play.
Yeah. Nice heads up. Victor Sauvé. Heads up all day.
Heads up all day.
Heads up all day. He has made so many clutch second efforts. It's keeping Quake in the game right now.
Yeah, and we're just in the first half.
Yeah.
So let's see how many more he can make. Now we have O-line for Pipe coming out onto the field. Try to see if they can hopefully get something done here.
Looking, I would say a little bit of a personnel change out there on this O-line. I am still seeing some players we've seen a lot of, like McKee and Lamb, but a few new players out that haven't seen the field yet for Pipe to play on offense.
It looks like a first point for a few players.
Yeah. Pipe, once again, electing to go with their horizontal initiating play and then fall into a vertical set. Good run through grab there by Rouse. McKee finds Chan. Or excuse me, Lamb. Robinson. That's a neat fake. But he's looking for options, doesn't have it. That's low. And Quake Pipe unable to save that one. Quake with a chance now. Picard is going to pick up. A lot of traffic in the middle. Doesn't really like any of the options. Looks to his reset. I really like Savard using that negative space to then run up into the lane to get a gain on that dump. His pass, though, off target on the inside of Richard Mel, instead going straight to his defender, Liam MacArthur. Shea.
Oh, and a little lefty backhand there.
Yeah, finds
Shea.
Robinson. MacArthur. Back to Lamb. Lamb around to McKee. McKee wanting something from the front. He'll go around to his brother. Lamb. Robinson to Lamb. Robinson and Lamb playing together to get it close. McKee. Griffin McKee with the goal. Pipe.
Great little
with the
two-hand
hold.
grab in the end zone. Little clap catch. Love to see it. Make sure that he really secure that catch.
Score 5-4.
Yeah, and the captain of Pipe able to get that block for Pipe to get it back on O here. So seems like the Pipe is coming out and they're all giving a little high five. And perhaps a timeout called here.
Yeah, we'll see. We did get past the halftime marker earlier. So, Sahab, why don't you kind of give us a story of how this game has been going so far, offensively, defensively, and I'll go do a little journalism.
Yeah, well, these two teams have been fighting each other back and forth this entire game, right? They're going back and forth. These scores, couple breaks on both sides, but both teams able to make the comeback, right? And now we are back at evens at this halftime. And Yeah, Quake coming in with the 7th seed, Pipe coming in 9th seed as a new team. Quake, a very, very long-standing team, and Quake actually finished 4th at Nationals last year, losing to the eventual champions, General Strike, in universe points for their semifinal game. So hopefully, Quake, quite excited to get another rematch against General Strike here today.
So we are in halftime. We did pass that 45-minute mark. So the score 5-4. We're gonna take a break at this half. For this division, they are 8-minute halves. And since we kind of been talking for a little while here, we'll see you back in about 4 to 5 minutes. Welcome back, Ultimate fans. Second half action about to begin between Pipe from Ontario and Quake from Quebec in our open division of the 2023 Canadian Ultimate Championships, the senior phase of the tournament. We have some beautiful weather today here on Field 1, our showcase field, sponsored by B Apparel, where you can go over to their tent and get some official tournament swag or look for it online. And also sponsored by Discraft, that I would say provide us with a marginally important piece of equipment.
One would say the only important piece.
You're right. The only important piece, and I shouldn't say marginal, I should say extra important, the discs. Discraft supplying us with all of the game discs for this tournament. The score in this game is 5-4, and we just had halftime. And you might be asking, 5-4 halftime? Why, Clay? Well, that is because we do have timed halves. So at the 45-minute mark in any game, after the point that is currently going on concludes, 1 point is added to the highest score, and then half is taken when one team reaches that number. So it has been a really hard-fought battle in this first half. So it was taken, the score hasn't really racked up, as it's just been a trade. It's just a 1 point game. My name's Clayton Hallett, and Saab Ansari here with me. And we've been having a great time calling this game. Both teams seem really into it, particularly Wilson Pan from Pipe, just loving this right now. Loving the attention, loving the game. But the energy from both teams is positive, happy. Sahab, how have you been feeling about the game?
I feel great. I'm excited. This game is really exciting. And as we get to it, just as we're saying, this huge pull, not able to stay in. It's the back fence, Clayton.
So hitting the back fence, Janae will get to bring that back up. And he is, I went and found out, not related to the other Janae Vincent. So no brothers on Quake.
Yeah, and Janae, once again, started this half picking it up.
Yeah, and he has been the pickup guy. His throws have been crisp, really driving this offense. As you see, a great fake up the line, instead electing to go to Sobey. But Breton gets it back. Looking for options. Has Gamache on the open side. Gamache finds Janae again. Janae really great with that change of direction to get back on the break side. It looked like perhaps Courdeau blew a tire there and couldn't get to that cut in time after it had already been released by Janae. So Luo will pick up a break chance here for Pipe. Stonehouse looking for options. Another complimentary miscue on the throw by Pipe. Seagal starting to change direction while Stonehouse was releasing that. But Janae in a tough corner here. Pipe calling for some health defense. Stonehouse keeping an eye on Dubé as he works backwards. And we see the handler core for Quake again. Work it together. Janae with the big huck. Courdeau turns on the Jets just outside of the end zone. Dubé's there to help him. Doesn't like it, but he doesn't have a count. He has lots of time. He'll find Gamache. And Gamache able to get that through to Robin Dubé. Quake with the hold, the score 5-5.
Yeah, and two unforced errors, right, to kind of get the disc back and forth between the two teams here. These kind of high release backhands don't really stay in the air that long with this kind of wind. But Quake, like we talked about before, these big hucks with these speedy legs, able to find the end zone and complete it into that red zone. Just one or two players is all they need, right? And now let's see how Pipe can do. Back on the offense. Pipe's offense has been looking quite clean this game, Clay.
They have. I mean, both teams have frankly, we're just seeing most of the time, we're seeing some really good defense. I would give Pipe the edge right now on the explosive Ds, those layout blocks. They're coming through with a lot of those, often just at the last second when Quake thinks it's in their hands and they're not. But we've also seen some miscues from this Pipe offense. We've seen a few passes get caught up in the wind and go over heads, but the plan, as it were, Pipe seems to be sticking to it. They've got great resets. They're showing a lot of discipline. It's not as if they're disorganized.
Yeah.
So
looking forward to seeing what Pipe brings out here, and also what Quake brings out for the defense.
the wind has shifted. Now it's moving left to right. So Pipe is in a more difficult position. You see this slough defense it is a zone, except it's with the flat mark until the disc gets to the sidelines. Interestingly, I've seen a few Quebec teams employ this defense throughout the week. Stylistic choice to go flat mark in the middle of the field, and then as it works to the sideline, force the disc into smaller spaces. Now, what's interesting, too, is the Quake is not really locking down the handlers here. They're allowing the handlers to throw it back and forth a lot. They're really putting pressure on those upfield throws. They want Pipe to get impatient, take a shot, and have the disc pop up in the air and have lots of bodies in the area to try and grab it. Although Pipe now finding a way to break out, and that's going to do it for that zone. You hear the melt call from Quake, but then a big breakout athletic bid from number 9, Louis-Philippe Dubois.
And I was just about to say, I was looking forward to seeing Quake slough on the defense. And as I'm saying that,
it's always how it goes, Sahab. And just as you say it, that bounces off the hands of Dubois. Robinson picks up. He'll find McKee. Fakes his throw. Quake bidding to try and stop it. Sheh back to McKee. McKee on the doorstep. Showing patience. He'll get that back to Robinson. Robinson with some big flick fakes. He wants to go around. Doesn't see it. Runs out of time. And Sheh not able to dig that out of the ground. Robinson not looking too happy with the way the resets were going. But, you know, sometimes it takes commitment. You need to stick with that reset if you're running out of time.
Yeah, and it's not easy to look back and forth between resets here.
Archambault finds Picard. Picard unloads that flick bomb. It's low, but a great read by Philippe Gagnon. Flips that to Bastien. Bastien taking his time, elects to get the easy open reset to Sabal. Sabal to Landry. Landry goes for the IO flick, but unfortunately it's on the inside shoulder of Bastien. And Jackson McKee able to get the D. And Lamb saves that one, popped up over. Griffin finds Rouse to Robinson. Robinson committing to a dump this time. Finds Jackson. Rouse. Back to Jackson McKee. Lamb. Able to punch it up the line to Shea, but Pipe just going up a very small section of the field. They're going to go a big OI flick to the back of the end zone to Parker Rouse. It's a Rouse in the house.
Rouse in the house.
And Pipe is now winning 6-5.
And this is kind of what I wanted to say, right? When I was watching Quake play against Streetcar around halftime, Quake brought out this slough look for the zone defense. And it was really, really starting to work for them. And after that slough came out, Streetcar was unable to make any sort of offensive moves. And Quake really just took over that game. And I'd like to see if something like that is going to happen for this game here, or if Pipe is going to be able to figure something out to play against it, just as they did here on the offense.
Yeah, they didn't seem too stressed about it. I mean, we've been talking about Pipe's organization, their plan, and how they've kind of been sticking to their guns. And I mean, when you're playing against the zone, that's required. If you start to get impatient, if you start to get thinking that you can have the solution to throw it over, you know, maybe 10 players' heads, that's the type of time where those zones become the looks you want to see all the time. But Pipe showing some poise against that zone. Morrow's pull up to the stratosphere, but it will sail out of bounds. It looked cool, but Janae will have the opportunity to bring that up to the brick mark. And we know for this Quake team, that is pretty much exactly where Pipe does not want Janae to have the disc.
Yeah. And Janae's been able to translate these starting from the brick mark in the middle of the field into scores almost every single time now. See if he's able to do it, or if I maybe just gave a caster curse as I was saying it, Clayton.
Well,
caster curse.
Huang has seen Janae make that fake all game, right? That big flick break and then going for the backhand around. So Huang picking that off. Really good heads up defense. Luo. He'll go for the IO to Stonehouse. Stonehouse looking for options, has Huang up the line. Park's working hard for him, but that cut a little too telegraphed. So Quake with the big defensive play. I believe that was Nicolas Champagne with the D. Oh, excuse me. I think it was Bordelot with the D. Gamache finds Dubé. And there's a pick call or a foul call, I guess, as Breton catches that. Gamache immediately turns to the observer and is asking, what? And it's interesting. We're seeing Vincent Gamache get a little heated here off that offensive call. He has been kind of at the center of a few calls this game.
Yeah, now as we're having this conversation, Gamache kind of leading the conversation, talking with Huang, and now the observer chiming in. Foul, no foul. So the throw is going to stand. And now Quake with the disc back into the middle of the field. But those kind of foul calls, right? They slow down the offense, and it's kind of an advantage to the defense, right? So
yeah, that's kind of a key point. I mean, Breton got the disc, and Quake seemed like they were on a breakout there. And you see Saint-Jacques working it out here. And, a little bit of confusion. That went back to Breton, but Breton was actually the continue from Dubé. So Gamache's original pass went to Dubé, so they've worked this out and just making sure everybody's in the same place. But, Sab, I want to go back to what you said. Absolutely. That you get a little annoyed on offense as a player when those calls are made because you say to yourself, my offense was working. We were doing well. You called a foul against me. I really don't agree with it. Now you've stopped the play.
Yeah, and now we're back into the play here.
Dubois goes back to Gamache. Vertical stack offense from Quake. Seeing a lot of face guarding at the front of the stack by Pipe, really starting to stifle those resets from the front so that Quake is forced to look backwards. However, Quake is doing a great job of having their back of the stack, cutting very, very hard to get those big unders. Stall three.
Another foul called.
It's by Sauvé. Foul, no contest. Thank you, Observer St. Jacques, for using hand signals. Love it. So this call will go down to 0 for Sauvé. He'll get a little dish to Dubois up the line, who goes around to Bordelot, and now Janae is able to unload after breaking out to the break side. And a big athletic bid by Dubé. Sahab, you might have been able to tell I was holding my breath on that one a little bit. That throw was kind of low.
Oh, yeah, me too, Clay. And that is such an athletic play to make, right? Really, really digging in deep for that catch. Not able to get his hands on it, but really, really good effort. And from our end of the field here, looked like he almost had it in his hands. Back to the play here. Playing able to find.
Morrow sends that out to Keeler. Keeler with the Jets. Wow. Keeler.
And what a
engage afterburners.
Amazing throw and the closing distance for Keeler there. Absolutely insane. And that is a break. And now you can see all the pipe players giving a bow down to Moreau.
I could run that fast, except I wouldn't run for about a week after that.
Yeah, I feel that, Clayton. I feel that. Not easy. And, you know, just Keeler just able to bring out those Jets. Logan Keeler really, really shining on this field here. We saw him earlier making tons of defensive blocks, a lot of layout Ds, and now sprinting down into the end zone with that insane closing distance. Not an easy task, but able to finish in the end zone, get that catch, and that is a break for Pipe.
And that break puts the score at 7-5. We've already had our halftime. If you're joining us late, half was taken at 5-4, thanks to the halftime cap. And as time ticks on, there is one change in this phase of the tournament from the junior phase, if you watch that. And that is in the junior phase, games were 85 minutes, and then there was a hard cap, which meant as soon as the horn went, finish the point, finish the game, unless it's a tie, go to universe. But in the senior phase, what ends up happening is horn will go at 85 minutes, but it's soft cap. And a point will be added to the highest score, and then the game ends when a team reaches that score. We see a split stack play, a Jets go, if you will, from Quake here. Dubé is going to put that out to a speedy Victor Kuhodo. And what a great answer from Quake. I feel like my play-by-play was not ready for the rapid development of that point by Quake.
Yeah, and honestly, it's surprising. Sometimes we see Quake deciding to take that slow movement, and other times we see Quake just insanely quick on the offense. 1, 2, 3 passes into the end zone, and if you blink, you miss it.
And that is a fantastic answer if you're an O-line, right? Your O-line from earlier just went out. You ended up getting broken. That is, the defense ended up beating you after a 10-minute point. But then to go out there again and be like, all right, let's just score in 15 seconds. Get your team right back in the game. It's like, okay, let history be done with. We got that point back. Let's go get another one. So ancient history, good response by Quake. And
Quake right back into this one here.
Yeah.
And
looks like they're setting up a particular defense.
Yeah,
I wonder if
see the slough come out from Quake once again. And yeah, as we saw, Quake players on the line having a chat here with their coach, how they want to set up here. So perhaps we might see another zone look. I'm looking forward to seeing the answer that Pipe has.
That pull from Vincent Genet, ends up with Lamb. That's grabbed by Park. Park looking for options. The jab set cut and a great defensive effort from the Quake defender. That was Vincent Genet just being in the area, getting the hands in the way, causing a turnover. IO flick, but Lamb reads it and gets in the way. Shea picks up, and he has a big OI flick to Jackson McKee. He'll flip it to Lamb. Now you have Stonehouse in a one-on-one in the end zone. Kind of like it. He decides to try and go under to get a gain, but Lamb looks it off. Robinson has Stonehouse, keeps his toes in on the sideline. Seeing that jab step cut, I'm becoming a big fan of Robinson. Finds Griffin McKee to Robinson. Robinson throwing some fades, looking folks off. Shea. Go around to Lamb. Lamb keeps his toes in. And Lamb, not quite happy with what his reset options are, was perhaps felt that that stall count was getting a little too high, elects to call a timeout.
Yeah, and once again, we're back in this position where a certain Canadian Ultimate Championship coach does not like.
Well, although this one's a little bit different, I think, because you've got everybody already in position. You're not getting the open looks you want. You feel like you're going to get to a high stall count, and you might have to throw something that's really tight. I mean, I'm thinking he's at stall 3 or 4 right now.
Yeah, and like you said, this is a little bit different. Nothing was working for Pipe there. They were getting 3-4 rounds back and forth, but not able to find anything to punch into the end zone. And hopefully now with Quake's little change here, they might be able to figure something out. But earlier off the fast break, saw Oscar Stonehouse and Gagnon in the end zone. And Gagnon playing an amazing defensive look against Oscar Stonehouse. That is not a position you want to be in against
No.
Stonehouse. And he makes great defensive moves as we get back into this play here.
So Lamb with the disc stalling. Oh, sorry. I thought that was a stall, but no, that was just a countdown so that the defense can set up. As after the offense is set, after a timeout, the defense gets 20 seconds to position themselves. Coming in at 5, stalling 5. Lamb looks for Park immediately. That throw pops up, but Park able to hold on to position. It signals the on his head. I'm thinking, well, not really. That throw kind of went around, it popped up in the air, and you had position the whole time. But you know what? I'm not going to take that celebration away from Pipe. They now have an 8-6 lead, up 2 points, and they're up a break at this point. So they're in a good spot, and we are about 7 minutes away from that soft cap going on. If we'll see if we get there, and well, Saab, I think it's safe to say we will.
Yeah, definitely. And those kind of exciting plays, right, from the offense here, right? You know, even if it isn't exactly a sky, those plays can get kind of exciting. And you kind of need to bring in that energy for your team, right? When you get those kind of plays,
That's true.
Get hyped, get excited, get your whole team involved. It's not just about you. It's about everyone on the field. Personally, I love seeing that. I love making sure that the energy is brought for everyone onto the team. Now, Pipe here with their defense. Interesting to see if they decide to continue on with their person match defense or if they're going to bring something out in terms of a zone. It seems like they're having quite a bit of a conversation on the line here now as the observer is now signaling it is time to raise their hands.
Morrow's pull. He puts a big IO edge on that. It's fielded by Gamache and centers to Janae. Quake sets up in a horizontal offense. They find Dubé in the middle. Dubé is going to air that out to nobody covering number 33, Victor Courdeau, but Morrow makes up the ground to give Pipe another chance here at extending their lead.
And Quake attempting to get that quick fast break offense as they have been doing. Unsuccessful on that one. Morrow, great defensive play.
Also taking an injury sub, I believe. So we see him walking off the field there under his own power. So that's always good news when we see that. I believe, I'm sorry, I didn't see who has come in.
That is Oscar Stonehouse, number 88.
Thank you.
Coming in. You can recognize him by that amazing mullet and still a little bit of red left in his hair.
That's right. They all dyed their red, yeah.
Yeah.
So Huang will bring it up. We've seen this horizontal look as an initiating play from Pipe a lot. That super tree, that slash cut from the outside while everyone else clears. Pan gets that to the handlers, and they cycled around to Chan. Chan.
To Pan.
Yeah, Pan just outside of the end zone. Keeler jumping, not in. Looks like he jumped too late. but he gets it back to the line and then flips it to Stonehouse. Stonehouse and Keeler taking the statistic away from Pan there after Pan had a massive strike deep. If you're unsure of what happened there, a lot of players, what they'll do when they're just outside of the end zone, they'll run towards a pass they're about to receive, jump in the air, catch it in the air, and then try and plant their feet in the end zone. Keeler took off too late. He caught the disc, lifted off, and then tried to jump to the end zone, and the observers quickly signaled, sorry, buddy, not in.
Nice try.
Yeah, nice try.
And yeah, little shout out to Wilson Penn. I spoke to him earlier at the start of this game. He requested I gave a shout out to his grandma who might be watching this game.
Oh, word.
So great, great cut there into the deep space, right? Able to find that amazing huck. Not able to get the stat, but in our hearts and in hopefully his grandma's heart, that is his statistic.
Well, and it's fun you bring that up. I have a little bit of a gripe with stats. There's some players we look at assists and goals throughout the tournament and everything, but sometimes there's some players that are doing so much work as an anchor for your team, right? And they are often doing a lot of resets. They're often always getting it under and then flipping it, always getting lots of gains. And then they don't make the stat sheet when actually they've been a driving force behind your line. So stats don't mean everything, everybody.
Definitely, yeah.
Quake up against the left zone from Pipe here. And we see White showing that Jacob White showing that he may have took an elbow in the face there. No hard feelings between him and Breton, and Breton agrees. So basically what happens, the count just stops and White gets to compose himself, and then he'll resume his stall count. So coming in at 3. Breton and Gamache trying to crash through the middle, but Pipe locking down the options until they're able to find Sauvé. And we hear the man call from Pipe. And that buttery throw to Nicolas Champagne. It's kind of an easy one for Quake. Sahab. Quake worked that up the jammed side, right? Like they were being forced towards the bleachers there, and they just kind of went up and up and up and up and up that side. That's not necessarily an offensive style you like. It can be kind of risky, but Quake kind of having no problem finding those holes around those players in the front.
Yeah, definitely. And we did talk a little bit about a potential zone look from Pipe. Didn't work out for them there. Quake able to quickly find an answer to it, and a nice, beautiful huck to finish it off into the end zone in Quake fashion.
Score 9-7 for Pipe. The time is 1:54. So at the conclusion of this point, what should happen is we'll take the highest score, which could be 9 or 10, and add 1 to that, and the game will... Oh, the horn's about to go. So, yeah, after this point, we're going to be in soft cap. We'll tell you what the game is to after the conclusion of this point, depending on who scores. And this phase of the tournament, you have to score to win. You can't run out the clock. McKee. Griffin. Oh, looks for a receiver in Parker Rouse. It seems that there was a big athletic bid from the Quake player to make that turnover happen. But Rouse called the foul right away. I didn't personally see any contact, but obviously something went on. That was number 9. Louis-Philippe Dubois.
We have a couple of fans in the stands who are not happy about that call. Hearing a couple of disappointed cheers there. But now, with the observer conversation here.
Yeah. I'm glad we have these observers. These kinds of contentious calls can be really difficult when you've got such a close game and a very animated sideline to reach a resolution. So it's nice that Dominic Saint-Jacques is there to get both stories, and if they ask him for a ruling, he can make it. We're just waiting to see what he says. Server ruling, no foul. So that turnover will stand. The Quebec crowd happy with the decision.
Now this is going to get quite dicey, right? We have this point here.
Yeah, this could be quite close if Quake punches it into Sauvé. So we now have a score of 9-8. The game will be to 10. Pipe has to score once. Quake has to stuff Pipe twice. So this is going to be a very difficult road for Quake based on the way that Pipe has been playing. I mean, we've seen Pipe's O-line do quite a great job, but I mean, that was a break. And the Pipe is very much in the driver's seats. I would say specifically because of the side of the field they're on right now.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not easy, right? Like you mentioned, you have to score to win. And personally, I do like that rule because sometimes you have those kind of games where it is kind of close, like this one here, and you finish off the game with the team who is down scoring the point. And as a team who is up, sometimes it doesn't really feel like a win. So I love this kind of rule sets, and I look forward to seeing what comes out of it. This is still a game, ladies and gentlemen, and still anybody can take it home.
I'm curious if we're going to see more of a conservative possession style offense from Pipe here, or if Pipe is going to have a set play where they just rifle it. But that pull, a great one from number 16, Vincent Genet. And he's the first person down there as well. Great defensive effort. Lamb will find Shea. And he is called out. Jeff Blair, observers doing active in and out calls. Shea's first point of contact is out of bounds. The blue line on that sideline has been deceptive for a lot of players. It's difficult to see. We've seen a lot of turnovers where players just been running onto the disc on that sideline throughout the first phase of this tournament. Oh, but Pipe, stifling defense, kind of desperation. But Genet able to get it and flip that to Bastien. We have a universe point alert, everybody. The score 9-9, game to 10. We have universe coming at you. Well,
ladies and gentlemen, universe point game. Now this is starting to get spicy. Like I said, it's still anybody's game here, and Pipe quite excited, bringing out the Pipe here. Looking forward to see what happens. And Quake erupting. Excuse me for the pun.
Timeout, Pipe.
So, Pipe calling the timeout here. Trying to see if they can change something up here. Very, very quick touch. Unfortunately, that first throw from Pipe leading out, but Pipe on offense, back on offense here, and Quake back on the defense. Both teams going to try to see what they can bring out. And like I mentioned, I want to see what team is going to try something different here, or if they're both going to stick to what they know, right?
Yeah, I mean, that last point, I wouldn't say Pipe wasn't doing that, right? They just made a mistake on the line there, and then Quake was just really explosive and taking over. So we didn't see a departure. In these high-pressure situations, though, that causes people to lose composure sometimes, right?
Definitely. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this game, Pipe is a brand new team, right? It is not easy to stay composed against a team like Quake, who is a long-standing 13-year-long team, right? Or sorry, 10-year-long team. And they've been around for quite some time. They've been in these kind of positions. They know what it's like to experience this. So
I think Pipe might be the best of all time, name-wise. What do you think?
I personally love the name.
Oh, okay.
They're Super Mario fans, if you totally understand.
Well, The only difference here, I would say, is Pipe still remains at an advantage because they started on 0, but we saw how quickly that shifted last point. Except the difference now is, well, while the flags are showing me that it has died down for now, the wind in the second half of the game has been moving from the left of your screen to the right, which means Pipe is going to have to go upwind, which we've seen a lot of throws pop up in the wind today and then get blocked. So that is the only change from before, but see Stonehouse going deep and being isolated as a cutter. I'm not really surprised considering his talent and the high pressure do or die situation here. McKee finds Keeler at the brick mark. He'll find Park. Park able just to snatch that. Very close though. Dubois almost had it. McKee looking for Keeler. Keeler with the quick jab step tries to muscle up the line. Instead, a big layout block from Vincent Genet, who has shown up in the second half to get big defensive plays like that one on Shea. And there's an injury call. It looks like Romain Dubé will take a sub. And Christopher Chan, will switch out for Jackson McKee. But Quake here, able to, well, they have an opportunity to break for the wind. Picard. Oh, and it looks like Gamache could have got stomped or rolled an ankle, so he comes off. For some reason, the Quebec crowd finds that hilarious. Maybe we can get that story later.
It seems like that's actually a Ottawa squad in the red jerseys
Oh,
that are
okay.
sitting across from us.
Genet will come on. I mean, this is a really smart substitution. Genet has been an anchor handler with huge fakes all games, big throws, but he'll go deep. They find Morneau. Morneau, oh, looking for Dubois, but I'm sad he didn't get that. A little disappointed. You can hear in my voice that big layout to try and keep that alive. Really good effort from him.
Yeah,
and Robinson picks up.
Robinson with the pickup here, able to find a wide open McKee.
McKee over to Stonehouse. He'll look for Griffin instead, goes around to Park. Park up to Robinson. Robinson looks for Keeler. We've seen the speed from Keeler, but there are 3 Quake players in the area. And foul call. I mean, that Bermuda Triangle sort of constricted on Keeler there, so that is a tough one.
Yeah.
Keeler, we've seen the power in his legs and everything, and he did go up, but it seemed that the Quake players were kind of already going up over top of him. This is a difficult one for me to call.
This is definitely difficult, and it looks like they're actually off the field as well, so it seems like the observer is ruling it not in.
No foul.
No foul.
Yeah, after that wave off, that safe signal is a no foul. Sebastien looking for a reset. Pipe really pouring on the match defense here. Picard with the disc. He unloads. And an emphatic layout and win for Vincent Genet, showing up in the second half and putting Quake on his back. What a wonderful finish to this tight game. Genet, the hero at the end, while Pipe played a great game, but wow, huge run, big leap to put that in for Quake.
Storybook finish for Quake, finishing the game off down 3, scoring 3 points back to back to finish the game with a victory. That was a difficult one for Quake to come back from, and see, that's the kind of maturity that we were talking about, coming in with a team 10 years standing. And you know, they Quake did want to give a shout out to their former coach Jerome Boucher, who has been a long-standing member. Unfortunately, was not able to come out to British Columbia here today, but they wanted to give him a shout out as he has been a core part of their team. And Quake, excited.
Well deserved.
Ladies and
Well
gentlemen.
deserved. That composure to come back that way, I'd be excited too. I'd be really excited for my team for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah.
A hard-fought game, and exactly what I expected between these two teams. Both never let up at any point in the game, working hard on both offense and defense, pushing each other to their absolute limits.
So, Sahab, now with the conclusion of this game, we can talk about our next. It'll be a Quebec versus Quebec matchup with Iris taking on Curb in our next match, which begins at 2:30. So fans, you can do what you need to do to get ready. Go let your dog out. Go heat up a pizza pocket. Get another glass of carbonated water. Whatever you got to do to be here for this next women's division matchup between two historically strong Quebec women's teams.
Definitely,
So
yeah.
we'll be back with you in about 20 minutes.
Thank you.